Let me tell you something powerful. Have you ever noticed that the people who constantly talk about their plans often end up doing the least? In today's world, everyone is chasing attention, validation, and approval, and the easiest way to get it is by announcing your goals to others. The moment you share your dreams, people praise you, admire you, and tell you how amazing it sounds. But that's where the danger begins. That early praise creates a false sense of achievement, tricking your mind into feeling like you've already made progress when you haven't even started. Slowly, your drive fades, your hunger weakens, and the action you once felt excited about disappears. Real success doesn't come from talking. It comes from discipline, quiet effort, and consistency behind the scenes. It's built in silence, through long nights, early mornings, and relentless focus when no one is watching. So instead of announcing your next move, protect your energy, stay low-key, and let your results make the noise. Let me take this even deeper. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they leak their energy before the work even begins. Every time you announce your next big move, you're not just sharing information, you're releasing the very pressure that was supposed to push you forward. Your brain rewards you with the same dopamine you would get from actually achieving the goal, and suddenly the urgency disappears. That fire you felt cools down. That obsession fades. And then days pass, excuses grow, and the dream quietly dies. Meanwhile, the ones who truly win move differently. They don't talk much, they don't seek approval, and they definitely don't need applause before the results. They stay locked in, focused, and disciplined, working in silence while everyone else is busy making noise. They understand that success is a private process, not a public performance. It's built through consistency, sacrifice, and showing up even when motivation is gone. So if you're serious about changing your life, stop announcing everything. Move in silence, stay obsessed with your goals, and let your progress shock people instead of your words. Nobody notices, nobody cheers, and nobody applauds, until the results finally speak louder than anything you could have ever said. So the next time you feel the urge to announce your plans, pause for a moment and resist it. Keep it to yourself. Let that pressure build inside you, let curiosity grow around you, and let people wonder what you're really working on. Because when the day comes that you actually achieve it, it won't be because you talked about it, it will be because you stayed focused and did the work. Real power comes from showing, not telling. One of the biggest reasons to stay silent is your energy, because your energy is limited, and every time you talk about your goals, you're unknowingly giving a piece of that energy away. Too much talking drains the fuel you need to actually execute. Think about how often people say they'll start something new but never follow through, because talking tricks the brain into feeling progress without any real action. The most successful individuals understand this deeply. They don't waste time explaining their vision. They invest that energy into building it quietly, improving daily, and sharpening their skills behind the scenes. Another reason to stay silent is simple. Most people won't understand your vision. Not because they're against you, but because they see life through their own limitations. When you share your goals too early, you expose yourself to doubt, fear, and negative opinions that can slowly weaken your belief. Those small doubts can grow into hesitation and eventually stop you before you even begin. That's why those who achieve greatness protect their ideas. They treat them like something valuable, something that shouldn't be exposed too soon. And then comes momentum, one of the most powerful forces behind success. Progress is built step by step, through consistent effort, but the moment you start talking too much, you interrupt that flow. It's like stopping halfway through something important. You lose the rhythm, the focus, the drive. Instead of building something complete, you end up with something unfinished. So instead of explaining your plans, put your head down and work. Instead of seeking approval, stay locked in on execution. Let your progress stay quiet and your results make the noise. Because when you finally reach that point where your work speaks for itself, you won't need validation, you won't need explanations, your success will be clear. And that is the real difference between people who only dream and those who actually achieve. One talks, the other acts. Understand this, discipline grows in silence, not in public announcements. When nobody is watching, when there is no applause, no encouragement, and no recognition, that is where your true character is built. Anyone can stay motivated when people are cheering for them, but only a few can stay committed when the journey feels lonely and unseen. That's the real test. That's where separation happens. Because the truth is, success is often boring, repetitive, and uncomfortable. It's waking up early when you don't feel like it, pushing forward when results are slow, and staying consistent even when it feels like nothing is changing. And if you rely on external validation to keep going, you'll quit the moment that validation disappears. That's why you must learn to operate without needing approval. You have to become self-driven, self-focused, and self-disciplined. Another thing to realize is that talking too much creates pressure in the wrong way. When you announce your goals, you start worrying about what people will think if you fail. That fear can paralyze you. Instead of taking risks and learning, you hold yourself back just to protect your image. But when you move in silence, you remove that pressure. You give yourself space to fail, to improve, and to grow without judgment. You can experiment, make mistakes, and come back stronger without anyone watching your every step. That freedom is powerful. It allows you to focus purely on progress instead of perception. And let's be honest, results hit differently when they're unexpected. When you've been quiet, consistent, and focused, and suddenly your success becomes visible, it creates impact. People don't just hear about it, they feel it. They see the transformation, the growth, the outcome of all that unseen work. That kind of success commands respect because it's real, not just words. It's proof of effort, proof of discipline, and proof that you stayed committed when it wasn't easy. So train yourself to be comfortable with silence. Get used to working without recognition. Fall in love with the process, not the attention. Because at the end of the day, attention doesn't build your future, your actions do. Keep your circle small, your focus sharp, and your habits strong. And remember, you don't need to broadcast your journey to make it meaningful. You just need to stay consistent long enough to make it real. Because in the end, people won't remember what you said you were going to do. They'll only remember what you actually did. We live in a time where people feel the need to share everything. Their plans, goals, and every step they take. However, it is often wiser to stay silent about what you do. Sometimes, silence is more powerful than words because when you talk less and focus more on your work, your results begin to speak for you. Telling everyone about your dreams can invite unnecessary negativity. Some people may doubt you, others may laugh, and some may even try to discourage you. On the other hand, when you work quietly and stay focused, your success becomes your true introduction. Therefore, instead of announcing your plans, put your energy into achieving them, because in the end, actions always speak louder than words in today's fast-paced world. People often feel the urge to share everything they are doing, their plans, ambitions, and every small step toward success. However, it is not always wise to reveal your actions to everyone. There is great power in silence. When you choose to work quietly instead of constantly talking about your goals, you protect your focus and energy. Not everyone will understand your vision. Some may doubt you, others may criticize you, and others may unintentionally discourage you. By keeping your plans to yourself, you avoid unnecessary negativity and distractions. Moreover, silence allows you to stay disciplined and committed because you are not seeking validation from others. Instead, you are driven by your own determination. When the time comes and your hard work pays off, your success will speak louder than any words ever could. People will not remember what you said you would do, but they will remember what you actually achieved. Therefore, stay focused, stay humble, and let your actions define who you are in today's world, where social media and constant communication have made it easy to share every detail of our lives. Many people feel the need to announce their plans, goals, and ambitions before they have even taken the first step. However, there is a hidden strength in choosing silence over unnecessary disclosure. Keeping your actions to yourself allows you to protect your focus, maintain your energy, and avoid the pressure that comes from outside opinions. Not everyone will understand your journey. Some may doubt your abilities, some may criticize your ideas, and others may unintentionally weaken your motivation. When you speak too much about what you are going to do, you may feel temporary satisfaction, but it can reduce the inner drive needed to actually achieve those goals. On the other hand, when you work quietly and consistently, you build discipline, resilience, and self-belief. Silence helps you stay grounded and keeps your attention on what truly matters, your progress. It also teaches patience, as success does not come overnight, but through continuous effort and determination. When the results finally appear, they create a much stronger impact because people see what you have accomplished rather than just hearing what you intended to do. In the end, actions carry more weight than words ever can, and true success does not need to be announced. It reveals itself. Therefore, focus on your work, stay committed to your path, avoid unnecessary noise, and let your achievements tell your story. In an age where sharing has become second nature and people constantly seek attention and validation, it is easy to fall into the habit of telling others about every plan, idea, and ambition. However, true strength often lies in silence and self-control. When you choose not to reveal everything you are working on, you create a space where your focus can grow without interruption. Words can sometimes weaken intentions, because the more you talk about your goals, the more you expose them to doubt, judgment, and unnecessary opinions. Not everyone around you wants to see you succeed, and even those who do may not fully understand your vision. By keeping your actions private, you protect your mindset from negativity and distractions, allowing your energy to be fully invested in your work. Silence also builds a sense of discipline, because you are no longer chasing approval, you are driven by purpose. It teaches you patience, resilience, and independence, which are essential qualities for long-term success. Moreover, when you stop announcing your plans, you remove the pressure of expectations and give yourself the freedom to grow at your own pace. As you continue to work quietly and consistently, your progress becomes stronger and more meaningful. And when success finally arrives, it carries a greater impact, because it is real, visible, and undeniable. People may forget what you once said, but they will always remember what you achieved. In the end, success is not about making noise. It is about making progress. So remain focused, stay humble, trust the process, and let your actions become your voice, because the most powerful statement you can make is not through words, but through results. In a world where attention is currency and people constantly feel the need to prove themselves by sharing every detail of their lives, choosing silence becomes a rare and powerful skill. Many individuals announce their goals, dreams, and future plans as a way to gain recognition or motivation, but often this habit does more harm than good. When you speak too much about what you intend to do, you expose your ideas to unnecessary opinions, doubts, and even silent competition. Not everyone who listens to you genuinely supports you. Some may question your abilities, some may discourage you, and others may quietly hope you fail. This is why silence can be your greatest protection. It allows you to move without pressure, to grow without distraction, and to focus entirely on your journey. When you keep your plans to yourself, you are not seeking validation. You are building discipline, self-belief, and inner strength. You begin to rely on your actions rather than your words. Negativity and distractions, allowing your energy to be fully invested in your work. Silence also builds a sense of discipline, because you are no longer chasing approval, you are driven by purpose. It teaches you patience, resilience, and independence, which are essential qualities for long-term success. Moreover, when you stop announcing your plans, you remove the pressure of expectations and give yourself the freedom to grow at your own pace. As you continue to work quietly and consistently, your progress becomes stronger and more meaningful. And when success finally arrives, it carries a greater impact, because it is real, visible, and undeniable. People may forget what you once said, but they will always remember what you achieved. In the end, success is not about making noise. It is about making progress. So remain focused, stay humble, trust the process, and let your actions become your voice, because the most powerful statement you can make is not through words, but through results. In a world where attention is currency and people constantly feel the need to prove themselves by sharing every detail of their lives, choosing silence becomes a rare and powerful skill. Many individuals announce their goals, dreams, and future plans as a way to gain recognition or motivation, but often this habit does more harm than good. When you speak too much about what you intend to do, you expose your ideas to unnecessary opinions, doubts, and even silent competition. Not everyone who listens to you genuinely supports you. Some may question your abilities, some may discourage you, and others may quietly hope you fail. This is why silence can be your greatest protection. It allows you to move without pressure, to grow without distraction, and to focus entirely on your journey. When you keep your plans to yourself, you are not seeking validation. You are building discipline, self-belief, and inner strength. You begin to rely on your actions rather than your words.